Hello everyone, Attack Power here with an exciting announcement. Another Nemesis DLC is coming to Steel Division 2, and we're going to have another vote, and this is the first preview of the two first divisions for that vote. If you guys enjoy this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Steel Division 2 content. Let's dive right in here. Nemesis 7.1 preview. Hello, Commanders. We are back with an exciting new Nemesis vote. That's right, Steel Division 2's community favorite and favored vote has returned. In today's devlog, we'll present the first option for Nemesis number 7. So we're going to put a spotlight on the U.S. 1st Armored Division, Old Ironsides, and the German 71st Infantry Division. While the Axis and Allies didn't actually oppose each other directly, they're both stationed along the Italian Gothic line. So we're hopping back into the Italian front, which is pretty cool. That means we'll be seeing some more Italian infantry and stuff. Lots of Berettas and things like that. Let's dive right in here. So for those who don't know, basically we're going to present 3 different options of sets of divisions to look at, and then the community will vote on which of these they'd like to see in a DLC pack. So these have been pretty good in the past. Honestly, some have come out and been like terrible or super OP. Thinking like NOV and stuff, but NOV and Unternehmen, I mean, NOV's still pretty bad, but Unternehmen is a very playable division depending on the map. We've seen it in several tournament games and stuff, so it's definitely around. But some more notable ones: Group Toulon, First DFL. There's some that go way back to 21st Panzer, I want to say. And I don't know, I think 84th Strelke maybe, or 90, I forget which one. But yeah, so there's a couple free ones of these that everyone has. And yeah, so let's dive in here. First Armored Division, Old Ironsides. We're going to kind of, I'm gonna breeze through the actual history here and get to the part where they actually flesh out the division in game. Don't want to get too held up here. The first born of the American Armored Divisions, the First Armored Division, Old Ironsides, was created in 1940, expanding the 7th Cavalry Division. Okay, wasn't at war. Brutal efficiency of panzers made them want to make some tanks. Okay, then the U.S. finally entered the war at the tail end of 1941, shipped to England to further training, fielding early war equipment such as M3 Lee, Stuart light tanks, T-19s, and T-30 self-propelled guns. Division's first taste of combat was in November 1942, and it took part of the Allied landings in Vichy, France, in Algeria during Operation Torch. Yeah, they got their butts kicked during the Battle of Castorine Pass, mauled about a third of the inexperienced American division. The blow was humiliating. The division bounced back and recovered with surprising speed, dismissing ineffective commanders and prompting reevaluating methods and equipment. Yeah, historically speaking, the Americans getting kicked around in Africa was actually a really big deal because it really helped them flesh out all the really kind of inept commanders that they had in several levels of the army at the time. So it actually really helped the Americans move forward in terms of becoming an effective fighting force. The first American division returned to the closing week of Tunisia campaign before participation in the liberation of Sicily and the invasion of mainland Italy. It turned out to be the sole armored division at the Anzio landings and a subsequent battle for the bridgehead. By this time in the war, 1944, we're talking about mid-1944, towards the late end of it. Let's see here. The new American Armored Division was reorganized under a light something operations of battle, basically, TOE. The first Armored Division kept its old heavy setup, like the 2nd and 3rd. Only after the breakout from Anzio and the capture of Rome would the formation reorganize along lighter lines, turning into a mechanized formation better adapted for the cramped Italian theater of war. Upon reaching the Gothic line in 1944, the 1st Armored Division, now a veteran formation, was reinforced with co-belligerent Italian units in an attempt to break through the heavy German defensive line. All right, so a hybrid armored division, the heavy turned light, with addition of allied Italian reinforcements. The 1st Armored Division is more of a mechanized than a pure tank division. Okay, that makes it better, I would honestly say. Even with the nerf to fallback and stuff, infantry are still like the thing at the end of the day. Although tanks are a lot more effective now, it feels like. The Italian front featured much more constrained terrain than northwestern Europe. It was unsuited for the wild, headlong cavalry rides. As such, the division's recon forces, while based on a true cavalry scout regiment, are quite average compared to, say, the 4th Armored Division. Meanwhile, infantry can be deployed in more generous slots compared to other U.S. armored divisions, featuring even more than actual tank slots. With standoff firepower being a key element to subdue Axis defenses in Italy, support RD-tabs are division's strong suits, while AT and air are more average and A particularly scarce. That's not really a bad thing, honestly. We've seen plenty of really strong divisions that don't have super strong AA. As long as you have like two, like at most 3 cards of good AA, it doesn't, you don't need more than that, at least for 1v1, right? I mean, But even in 10v10, I don't think you're going nuts on your AA tab, generally speaking. So, yeah, there's not a lot of use for like crap tons of AA, unless it has like dual purpose of AT. But outside of that, this is probably not a very big weakness. Truthfully, this is already sounding like an even stronger. I think fourth was an even stronger armored division than third. And this is feeling like an even stronger version of that. Maybe not necessarily in the armored category, but as an overall division. The first armored division was one of the first American formations to go to war, but never left the Mediterranean theater. By 1944, it was on the bottom of priorities regarding replacements, including equipment. This means the division is still fielding some old material and vehicles brought from North Africa. This kind of equipment is usually retained and subordinated to lesser units, giving them a bit more firepower. Very interesting. All right, so let's dive in here. Note that bolded and italics are new. Cool. Okay, recon. The formation's recon elements field cavalry-style equipment and units. The accounting for the usual array of vehicles, Stuart and Greyhound, and can also field cavalry scouts, ammo, and pioneers. The Batmobile, just kidding, Bontom Jeeps, M6 Fargos, as well as a few attached Italian Esploratori. Unlike the American units, more in line with their Commonwealth counterparts, first Armored Division scouts have Jalopede Stuart light tanks for recon. These were not battle modified. Stuart recon provided a specific T8E1. These new units are more mobile, but not meant to be transport scouts. They're best used as light recons. They have a 50 cal, which makes them awesome, and they're armored, which means this might be a playable unit, actually. This seems extremely strong. They called it average. I'm not sure what about this is average at all. It looks extremely solid. You got bazookas out the butt here. You have Greyhounds and Stuarts, Esploratori. Yeah, you don't have anything heavier, and no snipers, I guess. I assume that's what makes it average, but it seems like there's plenty of tools here despite that. Infantry, slogging it out since North Africa and overusing the mountainous Italian terrain. The grunt of the 1st Armored Division suffered from the same battle weariness as British 7th Armored. Okay, so we're seeing this again. So the battle weary trait, which slightly increases the suppression rate, but gives all your units an extra level of veterancy. This means the new variants of the Armored Rifles BAR and the Armored Rifles LMG get free veterancy, but this comes with the battle weary trait. They also are locked into half tracks as transport options, which historically has not been a terribly bad thing. Lighter infantry squads come in the option of 2 Italian attachments, co-belligerent 210th Divisione di Fanteria Artiglieria. The 67th Reggimento Fanteria forms the basis of the new Fucilieri units, Vanilla, Bren, and Leader variants, re-equipped with British small arms. Briefly attached to this formation were the Bersaglieri AUC, Allevi Ufficiali di Complemento squads here, also a new unit, which were officer cadet battalions. All fit and healthy personnel have been transferred elsewhere, leaving only the crooked shell of demoralized, unhealthy recruits who, in real life, had a staggering rate of desertion and hospital admittance. As such, the latter squad will be featured the disheartened trait. Okay, so that's the Bersaglieri, but the Fucilieri unit are re-equipped with fire. I wonder if that's another like triple Bren or quad Bren unit. The 210th Raggruppamento Genio da Combattimento provide guastatori squads, including flamethrower. Okay, I mean, that's a big upgrade to usually a kind of meh American CQC. That's a big bonus to that. So infantry tab seems solid. If there's no double LMG units, that would be a problem, although I would assume the Fucilieri units have multiple Brens, which I'm sure, as we know, is not anything to get super excited about, because Brens, even after their buff, are still... they still lose to most things, honestly. They still usually lose. They kill faster, but they don't suppress any better. All right, tank tab. This category covers M5A1 light tanks of Stuarts and pretty much all types of Shermans. No shock there, as the 1st Division quickly replaces M3 Lees with 75mm M4s and later M4A1s. That's kind of a shame, though. The M3 Lee in-game is kind of actually nuts. It's like a really good unit. The M4A3 was reserved for this Northwestern Theater and was unavailable to this battle group. However, in a peculiar move, the division received one of the first batch of M4A376Ws as a replacement for later variant. This new unit, including the command variant, will be phase locked. So what will it do? Oh, it's a 76. So it's got the 130 millimeter penetration, I suppose. And the W means like the water tanks or whatever, I think, to reduce. So it doesn't really change any aspects in game, I guess. But it looks like you'll have a 76 variant of the Sherman, which is huge. That's huge. It gives the division so much more anti-tank capability. It's just absurdly better. Support. This is well equipped with the usual set of units, from HMGs to supply commanders, flamethrowers, and the like. Representing the division's heavy reliance on direct support, the M8 Scott, T30 HMC, M475, and even an M7 Priest are all available. Wow. That's a lot of 2K, because that's the M475 and the M7 Priest. So you're going to have a lot of 2K. M8 Scotts are solid. T30s are the nice little half tracks. Of course, you'll have 50 cals. Some Italian is also featured, including the new Carabinieri Military Police, Breda HMG, and Obice 6513, plus the rapid firing anti-tank gun. The new S18-1000, this latter unit will be treated as a 20mm HMG on par with the Kampflette 43. Oh, God. More of these things. Oh, hate these. They're so strong. The last thing I want in game is more of that. Oh, that's so good for the division, but oh. AT, as mentioned, the divisional's anti-tank force is pretty light. It contains usual bazooka teams. It doesn't sound like you need those, though. Toad 57mm, N70, M176. How is that light? That's freaking nuts. Wait, M1. Yeah, no, that's good. UM10 destroyers. Well, okay, that sounds fantastic. I'm not exactly sure what's weak here, unless I'm thinking of the wrong M1 gun. Huh. A, again, with his Axis air threat being pretty non-existent at the time, the battlegroup's anti-air force reduced to bare minimum. The available includes M16 and the more unusual unit, the T28E1 MGMC, which is a predecessor to the M15. It's armed the same but features less armor. So you still get Bofors, essentially, on this thing. And so, I mean, if you only get one card of these, that might be a little strained. But if you get 2 cards of this, then it's fine. Like, it's the A-Tep's going to be fine. Artie is one division's strong points, a wide array of light and heavy, and includes 60mm mortars, 81, 107, probably with radio too. M21 self-propelled mortar, that sounds cool. M7 105 howitzer, those are great. It also can count on the heavy towed 155s and 203s. The latter unit comes with a dedicated artillery tractor in the form of the new M33 Prime Mover, which is basically a repurposed deturreted M3 Lee. Looks like it still has a gun there, though. It probably doesn't shoot, but that'd be cool. So, yeah, you get really big guns here. No rockets, though. Air. First, Airborne won't have access to a generous air force and can only call on fighter and fighter bombers, including the new models of the Italian RE-2001 CN fighters, the American A-36 Apache fighter bombers. That's cool. Latter dive bombing variant of the Mustang. So, some cool planes. I'm sure the Italian fighter will be pretty good. They usually are. A-36 Apache will just be another American fighter bomber, probably with a absurd bomb loadout and pretty high price. So yeah, this division seems really strong. I mean, honestly, the last thing we need in game is another ridiculously strong American division, but I'll take it. I'll take anything, you know. German 71st Infantry Division. Let me take a drink here. Sorry about that. All right. Next up is the Axis 71st Infantry Division. Originally, a formation saw the light in 1939, took part in the invasion of France in 1940, where made propaganda headlines by capturing Verdun, symbol of World War I, double lucky one. After that, division returned to Germany to act as a training unit before it was sent to the east to participate in the invasion of the Soviet Union. There it took part in battles such as the Battle of Kiev in 1941, the Second Battle of Kharkov in 1942, before fate took it to Stalingrad. Here, the 71st Infantry Division was destroyed, ceasing to exist in January 1943. That's not very good for them. The division gained a second lease on life with replacement troops, and this time was not sent to the Eastern Front, but to sunny Italy. Barely 6 months into the division's reformation, still in training, the capitulation of the Axis Italian government saw the formation hurriedly sent to Italy to disarm Italian troops. The division would spend most of its time on this front. 71st Division was tasked with the coastal protection and anti-partisan duties before being deployed to the front line, where it played a major role during the Battle of Monte Cassino in the spring of 1944. All right, that's pretty cool. Severely depleted during various Allied offensive, the division was moved to a quieter sector, impassable terrain. Here, Instead of rest and recuperation, the 71st was targeted by an offensive of light-footed French expeditionary mountain troops, severely mauling the German formation. As such, the infantry division was moved to the other side of the Italian theater, to the Adriatic coast, assigned to hold the left flank of the Gothic line. Fighting Canadians, then Poles, then co-belligerent Italians division would slowly be bled dry. The 71st Infantry Division would not see the wars end in Italy. Transferred to Hungary to take part in the ill-fated Lake Balaton offensive, it retreated to the west afterwards, reaching Austria to surrender to the British in 1945. All right. Cool. All right, so in-game, the 71st Infantry Division was chosen as one of the original testbed divisions for the STG-44 assault rifle in 1943, though it doesn't appear to be very high on the infantry weapons replacement list after that. For instance, it retained the GRB-39 anti-tank rifle, so that's the really good AT rifle that has like 40 millimeters pen, or 60 mil with short range. Turned into AT grenade launcher well into 1944. The formation also confiscated a lot of Italian weaponry from SMGs and LMGs, which is good for SMGs, bad for LMGs. Like, Beretta's great, Italian LMGs are terrible. And a large percentage of division's artillery and armor. The armor's okay. Another defining feature was the strangely high number of scoped rifles, which was more in line with the Germans' Army Mounted Division. Also, don't get excited. There's not going to be scoped SGGs. It's not happening. This is super rare to start. This is probably a propaganda picture in the first place. Super rare to see these in the first place, and it's very unlikely they had them at all. And I doubt they're coming out. When they say scoped rifles, they mean like snipers, like normal snipers, which is a good thing for the division in terms of strength. In game, the division received some additional infantry from the Axis RSI black shirt formations. Early in the war, these were fascist volunteers organized into paramilitary units attached to regular army formations. They would compensate for their lack of experience through political fanaticism. After Italy's armistice, most remaining black shirt units were of low quality, with a few black shirt M battalions, either for Mussolini or Muerte, meaning death, with debate still ongoing, being of better caliber, at least in terms of political zeal. These were found fighting in anti-partisan duties behind the front line or coast defense in the 71st Division's area. Okay, interesting. All right, 71st Infantry Division is an infantry division with strong artillery, and even if total tank numbers might be lacking, some potent armor options are available. Okay, I mean, that sounds good. Recon, an average category with regular complement of Aufklärer, Spätrupp, and BMW recons. The new Fusilier ZF will make good use of the battle group's amplified scope rifles. Okay, so that's cool. Some sniper units. SPW AB-41 also fielded. I mean, that sounds like a great recon tab to me. That does not sound average in any way. Infantry, one of the formation's strong points. The bulk of the infantry will be composed of the new Grenadier GRB-39 with the MG-34 and anti-tank rifle. That's not very good. One card of new Grenadier MG-42 of new Grenadier will receive an extra Beretta 30 LMG. So 2 LMGs, but one of them is utter trash, and the other is good. And you only get one card of these. Not feeling it. New Grenadier ZF will come with additional scope rifle. Okay, so your leader will have a sniper. I mean, that's nice. Not the best. More specialized squads featured in the form of one card each of Sturmgrenadier and Stoßtruppen Beretta. I mean, those are both very good units. Then we have the new Pioneer GRB-39, will also feature the anti-tank rifle. Regular Pioneer and Sturm Pioneer will also be available. Finally, the new Squadristi black shirts will be deployed in 2 flavors, one equipped with an MG-42 and the other with an FM-24. Both will be armed with a Panzerfaust. This doesn't actually sound super strong. Unless these are like crazy huge units. No. You only get one card of double machine gun infantry, which actually really sucks. Nope, doesn't feel that strong, honestly. Tank, rather restricted in numbers. Several tank units will be featured. The division's well-represented Stug M42, that's nice. Will be joined by the very rare, only a dozen produced historically, Stug M43-75-46, which is a unit. This latter unit features a much more potent long 75 gun derived from an AA piece, which only the 71st and 2 other units ever processed. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's definitely a good unit. A single card of Panther A. All right. I mean, that's not anything like ridiculous, but it is cool. All right. I mean, this could be good. I mean, if you can bring a fair number of these, like the dozen, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. Support, a well-supplied category with the usual allotment of HMGs, mortars, light mortars, flamethrower supply, and commanders. Additional Stroke M42, so some 2K there, some more 2K there. Good stuff. Very rare IG-37. These infantry guns were a mix of PaK-36 cartridges accommodating a few IG-42 barrels produced, which was a new 75mm gun intended to replace the IG-18. Features more range and better heat round. I mean, that sounds really good. Italian Brackshirts will bring some Squadristi, Breda M31, a copy of the Hotchkiss, and Brixia 45mm. Okay, I mean, those are all good things. That looks interesting, to be sure. AT, Anti-Tank Force, above average with Panzerschreck, PaK-177, which is just the Breda gun, basically. A Cannon DA-4732, don't know what that is. PaK-40, Martyr 3H, tank destroying a few Jagdpanzer 4s. Okay, but it's the A0 variant, not amazing. A rather light self-propelled SDKZ 10-4 and 7-1, well with Scotti 20mm AA gun. So this is terrible. You have an SDKZ 7-1, so it shouldn't be awful. Artie, another strong point of the division, with all the regular 81mm mortar, 120, as well as a 105 and 150s, plus some more captured guns of the Italian Obices. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's good. A whole bunch of Italian Obices. Nearby supporting artillery is the super heavy Moser 210. Oh, that's definitely good. Nebelwerfer 210s. Ooh, and Panzerwerfer 150. I want these to be good. They never are. So yeah, this is a phenomenal Artie tab. Air tab features a mix of Italian and Axis units. Focke-Wulf F8, very good. Me-109 G6, Veltro, very good. Spaviero bombers, very solid. So the American division sounds stronger, as they usually do. The Allied division, honestly, usually sounds stronger, generally speaking. Very generally speaking. The infantry tab sounds really disappointing to me. The tank tab, honestly, the tank support and Artie tabs honestly sound more in AT. Everything other than the infantry tab actually sounds more interesting than the actual infantry tab itself, which I hate. I hate when there's infantry divisions and they suck at infantry. I just don't. I find that counterintuitive. But yeah, so that would be the first one to vote on. Remember, this is a vote between 3 sets of divisions, even though I argued to just have them all. That was my argument, just do them all. But yeah, couldn't get there. But if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and check out that Patreon. Thanks a bunch, guys, and have yourselves a fantastic day.